Oh, power flashes, Brian, tornado on the ground.
You could feel the pressure, so we knew then it was hitting.
Power flashes, this is a tornado on the ground.
Oak Grove, Smithville, Johnson County. In the darkness, metro communities struck by tornadoes and everything that comes with it. As daylight shows the magnitude of the storm, cleanup gets underway. Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Moritz here with Chris Ketz live in Oak Grove. And yes, the cleanup has definitely started. We have U-Hauls and driveways. Things that have been salvaged are definitely being loaded up.
But boy, is there an awful lot of damage when you talk about in excess of 500 structures either damaged or destroyed. Let's take you on a real quick walk right now between these two duplexes. We're right off Broadway, which is the main drag here in Oak Grove. Utility restoration, getting the power back on in this and other communities has been such a chore. And this is just one small illustration. That was a utility pole that was standing yesterday. The good news is it's been replaced by a new one today, and that kind of work is not something that happens right away.
It doesn't happen right away. These folks have been working around the clock since everything happened last night. And on top of it all, giving us a bird's eye view is News Chopper 9 and Johnny Rollins. Johnny?
Well, we've been taking a look at the entire damage path here, all the way from Lake Lotawana to a few miles to the north and east of Oak Grove, and over now the Bent Oak Golf Course, the name of which taking on whole new meaning tonight, as extensive damage to a lot of the foliage around it, a lot of the trees down and completely snapped off. We do have some utility crews down here, but take a look at the damage near this pond. The power of this tornado, very, very obvious. And then across one of the fairways, single file, one by one, you can see these giant trees that were totally uprooted. Again, more evidence of how powerful this storm was, how strong the winds were. As with the rest of Oak Grove and along this entire tornado's path, we're seeing a lot of cleanup underway down here as well. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you, Laura.
All right, well, terrific job, Johnny. And we do want to say that only minor injuries, no deaths to be reported. And with all of this going on, it's hard to believe. But what we do need to tell you, school will be canceled again tomorrow in Oak Grove. Classes were canceled today. The superintendent canceling classes tomorrow as well due to debris, and we'll show you that, and power outages. Now, meteorologist Nick Bender driving right alongside the Oak Grove tornado last night in Storm Tracker 9.
We were there, Laura. We were watching the tornado move in, destroying the power lines and the power poles, and that was that bright green flash that we showed you last night. That is a power flash.
A lot of power flashes. A lot of power flashes. I need you to keep going. Keep going. That's close. That's way too close.
Now, can you imagine this family here seeking shelter in this basement? It's dark. Their power has cut out. They can hear the tornado. Their ears are popping. They have debris falling down on them, and the tornado hits and tears the entire first level off and throws it and the second level downhill with the tornado as it barrels on through, and they are down here in their basement. This is why we tell everybody you need to get to the lowest level, because the first level and the top level, it's gone, but they were safe even with all this debris with minor injuries in their basement below ground level. Laura, Chris, back to you.
And you know, this is the exact reason why you stay away from windows when there is severe weather, because they get blown out and flying debris all over the place.
All kinds of holes in the side of this duplex as well. All of this severe weather obviously has moved on, but now there remains a pretty significant fire danger.
That's right. Chief Meteorologist Brian Busby is going to tell us about that.
It's the 1-2 punch that's going on here. The storm system was strong ahead of it. The storm system has strong winds behind it, and it's also drying out the atmosphere, which is why we have more sunshine than we did yesterday. Also lower humidity, and the wind speeds aren't helping matters either, so it's drying out pretty rapidly. 17 miles here in Kansas City, out toward DeSoto, a 10-mile-an-hour wind, and on the Missouri side, still some double digits from Liberty down to Lee Summit. Things are going to remain dry. Looking at First Alert Live radar. We are going to have a quiet night in store for us, but things will be changing into the weekend as it looks like there's another chance of some much needed rain coming in by Friday into Saturday. And I was out earlier in Oak Grove myself talking to some of the residents, watching some of the cleanup efforts going on. Lots of thank yous going out for Storm Tracker 9 and the entire crew here at Channel 9, trying to get that first alert out in a timely manner and let folks know exactly what was happening, not only in Oak Grove, but all across our area. Chris, Laura, back to you.
All right, Brian, thanks. Missouri Governor Eric Greitens was here as he was touring some of the damage, not just in Oak Grove, but throughout the area.
He was in the Kansas City area, specifically in Oak Grove this afternoon. He has declared a state of emergency following the storm.
To be down here and to see the tremendous support of people from Oak Grove and all over the state of Missouri who are coming out to support their neighbors, to support their friends, to support their families in a time like this. And you know what, this is obviously incredibly painful and a difficult situation, but to see how this community comes together and how Missourians come together at a time like this is also really inspiring.
Since Greitens became governor less than 2 months ago, he's dealt with multiple instances of severe weather, including snow, ice storms, as well as other tornadoes on the east side of the state. Peggy Bright met with some of the people that spoke with the governor today.
And Peggy has some of their stories from here in Oak Grove this evening. Peggy?
Well, we are standing right in the path that the tornado came through. At the bottom of this hill right here, Hunter Myers had just gotten home.
I got inside and I started hearing sirens, and then I went down to the laundry room because it's just completely concreted in, and that's where we were. That's where our safe spot was. I get downstairs and it's just dead silent, and then it finally just hit. It sounds like a freight train just hit.
Hunter was stunned to look out and see just how much damage was done, not just at his home, but his neighbors' homes as well.
I came out here and was checking on all the houses, make sure everyone's okay.
And amazingly, everyone was okay, but not Hunter's brand new pickup truck, part of the toll the tornado claimed.
You know, it's just in a matter of seconds all this can happen, and it's kind of scary.
Hunter is sick that his truck has been totaled, but it is insured. He'll get another. Hunter says seeing all this makes him focus on what really counts tonight.
We're okay. That's all that matters.
Hunter says it's also been gratifying to see how many friends, family, and even strangers have been showing up to help here. That's been going on all over the city. We're live in Oak Grove. Laura, Chris.
I tell you, there are so many people who have come just to lend a helping hand, but that's the human spirit we see in devastation and destruction like this.
We sure do. Our Michael Mahoney is on the other side of Oak Grove this evening, talking to more people who lost everything in this storm.
And Michael, you talked to a single mom with 2 kids.
Right, Lauren Bryan lived in this house here, and obviously she had a tough night and a tough day today. She has some help here that are loading that pickup back there, and she is simply at this point trying to make it through. The tornado smacked into the back of Lauren Bryan's house. Her ex-husband had called her, warning her that it was coming with just seconds to spare.
We ran to the bathroom. I threw one kid in there, grabbed the other one, threw them in there, and by the time I shut the door, that's when all the glass blew in. And
today, there seemed to be glass everywhere in her house, and her 2 kids are trying to comprehend what's happened.
And they say that the tornado ate our house, so they don't understand. They're 2 or 3 and 5, so.
Lauren Bryan had friends over helping her move things out, and when asked how she's doing,
it's awful. It's awful.
As a young mom loses her home on a night she is not likely to forget.
It only lasted like 15 seconds, but it's like the longest 15 seconds of my life.
Back live here looking at the debris and the damage done to Lauren Bryan's house here. The news is that she's going to be spending the night, and maybe a few more nights than that, at her best friend's house where she picks things up. Chris?
All right, Michael, there are 2 American Red Cross shelters open today. One is at the Oak Grove Civic Center. That's right off Broadway, the street behind us. It'll help people in Green Valley, Bates City, Oak Grove, Odessa. The second shelter is at the Gower Christian Church in Gower, Missouri, and they're going to help with food, water, and shelter. Oak Grove was not alone when it comes to tornado damage last night. Something that we were paying very close attention to last night is what was happening up in Smithville.
Yeah, Smithville got hit by an EF2 tornado, and Brian Johnson has spent the afternoon there. Brian.
And guys, there's not a home on this neighborhood that wasn't impacted by that tornado that came through there. You can see the trees behind me that got ripped up, and check out this shed that landed actually almost on its roof on its side, crushing this Ranger that is behind it. That tractor trailer actually came from about 3 houses over, and you can see the debris that is spread behind this backyard and what appears to be a pool that now has a trampoline, possibly from another neighbor from another part of this neighborhood. But check out this house right here behind me. We spoke to the woman who lives in this house. She was in her basement when the wind sucked the side of her house out so much that it ripped the walls right from her office there with the pink inside. Just incredible what people had to go through. They went downstairs to stay safe. Now we have some video also we shot of the neighborhood earlier. Insulation, of course, is spread everywhere, stuck in what fences remain up. We saw a complete lawnmower that was picked up and then dropped across the street. But it's the people's lives that have really been impacted. Many roofs are gone, with several families needing to move now. Their homes are no longer safe at this point, and many tell us that they had never had any idea that this kind of damage would happen to them.
So you think, oh, it's never going to happen, and it happened, and I don't ever want to experience it again. It was scary. And thank God I had my neighbor Tom, because as soon as it happened, he called to see if I was okay. We were checking on each other.
Again, here more live pictures of what is left as people continue to put their lives back together. You can see this fence behind me. There's just barely sections of it left. Most of the fences on this neighbor and the following neighbor have been completely taken down. We also spoke with a neighbor who had a boat parked on his trailer, kind of like this one in the corner, but now the boat is missing and he has no idea where it landed. Lara, everywhere we look, it is just another incredible story of people trying to help neighbors through this very difficult time.
Brian, it's so true. Everywhere we go, the human spirit is so strong. Now, if you live in Smithville and were affected by the storm and you need a place to shelter your dogs, Megan's Paws and Claws is helping Smithville residents. That number on our screen, and I'm also going to tweet that number out. So if you need to put your dog someplace safe, there's a place for you to do that. The washer and dryer has been moved. Things happen very quickly around here, that's for sure.
People are making progress, especially in this particular neighborhood right off Broadway and Southwest 25th, and that's really good news considering what these people woke up to this morning. Much more news to tell you about tonight. Let's go back to the studio. Haley Harrison, Stephen Albritton. Guys, back to you.
Incredible perspective they've been showing us here tonight. Thank you, guys.